Life can feel like a crime scene. Everyone watches each other, everyone's hands are dirty, and no one remembers when it all began. I ask you this, but the most terrifying question is this: what if the real crime is inside you? That dark corner fed by love, anger, or loneliness? Does it still belong to you, or was it stolen one day without your noticing? This is not just a question echoing from Dostoyevsky's house in the Brothers Karamazov. It is the sound of the crack that modern man fails to see when he looks in the mirror. I start with a short, sharp sentence because discomfort must arrive immediately. The crack beneath our peace grows silently. Now, another question arises. If you were completely honest, which truth would crush you under its weight? This question is more than literary. It reaches the man on the street, the silence in the office, and you standing in front of your own reflection. The question seems simple, yet each answer opens a labyrinth, and it's all too easy to get lost there. Thinking about the Brothers Karamazov, the first challenge emerges. While witnessing a family collapse, we see the fragility of human nature itself. The father is insatiable, the children bear shattered hopes. This story is not merely about one family, it is a condensed map of modernity. Why does it still shake us? Because the novel exposes not ordinary sins, but the internal logic that justifies them. This logic mirrors our daily rationalizations. I deserve this. It can't be done without me. It's better if I stay silent. It is an invisible engine powering wrongdoing. Our age tends to fragment identity. In the Brothers Karamazov, characters struggle with their own fragments, shifting between guilt, innocence, faith, and doubt. Modern humans do the same: professional identity, social identity, private identity. Each carries its own anxieties, its own defenses. The cruel side of the novel is how it exposes the seams of these multiplicities. When the seams unravel, the image that emerges is shameful, but also familiar. People often lose themselves under the weight of multiple roles. One face at work, another at home, yet another behind a social media mask. These masks leave traces not just on the surface but deep within the soul. The stories we tell ourselves decide which parts we hide and which we reveal. In the novel, characters reflect each other's flaws. In modern life, we often ignore our own reflection. This disregard creates inner weariness. Small inconsistencies accumulate, and the silence of conscience grows into a louder, inner scream. In an age where conscience is often stolen, the line between right and wrong blurs. Modern humans rely on external rewards and punishments. Success, visibility, approval. The inner compass becomes useless. In the Brothers Karamazov, conscience sometimes falls silent, leaving a void between anger and guilt. In our world, that void is filled with constant stimuli. Phone notifications, social media feeds, work demands, and everyday anxieties. All of these drown out the inner voice, and this silence is dangerous. If unnoticed, it alienates us from our own reality. Internal conflicts are not only individual, they are social. Our choices carry society's expectations, cultural patterns, and the shadows of the past. In the novel, the consequences of one character's actions fall upon another. In modern life, we spread responsibility, often projecting our own mistakes onto others. This fragments conscience. Every small concession or oversight leaves a mark on the soul's fabric. Often invisible, these marks erupt unexpectedly, revealing accumulated debts. Multiple identities are not just roles. Each carries the shadow of a search for meaning. Professional identity seeks power and success. Social identity seeks acceptance. Private identity seeks love and belonging. Shifting between these identities often delays the journey toward the true self. The Karamazovs are in the same labyrinth. Each internal conflict fuels the novel's universal tension. Modern humans face a familiar situation. Eyes outward may change, but inward eyes carry the same struggle. The deepest conflict arises when confronting one's own darkness. Suppressed anger, jealousy, and desire are not merely hidden feelings. They are shadows of our choices. In modern life, these shadows are often ignored or deferred. In the novel, characters must confront their shadows, sometimes painfully, sometimes destructively. Being alone in a quiet room is the only way to witness this inner struggle. Modern life rarely allows such solitude. This is why the novel shocks. It confronts us with our shadows inescapably. Multiple identities are no game, they are a test. Each choice draws a line between conscience and desire. In the Brothers Karamazov, truth hidden behind masks often becomes the heaviest burden. People carry this burden consciously or unconsciously. The real revolution does not happen in society. It happens inside the human soul. It illuminates the labyrinth, but where light shines, shadows deepen. Conscience is on stage, but its voice is stolen. In the novel, silence creates an even louder scream. Modern humans replace conscience with pragmatism. Profit, status, visibility. Over time, this inflates the soul. Feelings lose value, empathy is rationalized. In the Brothers Karamazov, this rationalization poisons relationships. Another's pain becomes data, compassion a performance. The novel questions free will and fate. Are our choices truly ours, or shadows of old impulses? Modern humans exalt freedom yet often fail to see its limits. Choices may reflect past trauma, culture, or accumulated mistakes. The Karamazovs demonstrate that when freedom clashes with inner compulsion, there may be no external cause left to blame. Then, internal reckoning is unavoidable. Pain teaches in the novel, but it can also drive madness. Sometimes it opens the door to consciousness, sometimes to destruction. Modern humans suppress pain through comfort, distraction, and consumption. These strategies provide temporary relief, but soul debt accumulates. This debt erodes identity's foundations. One day, a forgotten word or small oversight reveals the accumulation. We recognize that moment instantly. Loneliness is central in the novel. It is not shame, but an inner liminal space. The character's solitude echoes our own nighttime loneliness. Reckonings made in this space often go unheard because society compartmentalizes emotion. The Karamazovs reveal emotion's nakedness. Confronting oneself in solitude is the most honest test. Innocence, too, is absent in the novel's bones. Once lost, it is nearly impossible to regain. Modern life replaces innocence with knowledge and experience, but knowledge cannot fill emotional depth. Longing for lost innocence is not regret, it is a sense of deficiency. The Karamazovs show this calmly yet painfully. Remembering loss itself is painful. Searching for meaning is modern man's quietest, most burning pain. In the novel, characters ask about existence amid suffering. We feel the same emptiness. Escape is temporary. Comfort, entertainment, and busyness can distract, but suppression only brings the pain back, often in new forms. Neglected feelings, unspoken words, and unconfessed mistakes accumulate, leaving deep marks on the soul. Most people do not notice them. When they do, resolving them is difficult. The novel reminds us, escape is temporary, confrontation is inevitable. Free will is most complex here. Choices tread the shadows of past, culture, and inner impulses. In the novel, one choice can shape another's life. In modern life, our decisions create invisible links with others. Freedom is woven with threads of inner motives and social expectations. Invisible yet breaking is inevitable. This is where the novel and modern life intersect. Unexamined choices silently shake us. The modern search for meaning often focuses on consumption, information, or visible success. Yet meaning is not something you find in the world. It is something that slowly grows inside you. In the novel, characters seek meaning through the weight of suffering. We, too, feel a constant lack, a sense of incompleteness. Lost innocence is the starkest expression of this. It reminds us of simplicity, trust, and reliability once possessed. Remembering is often painful. Pain and meaning are intertwined, shaping and wearing down modern humans. Small acts, awareness, confession, apology, truth, can alter the chain of cause and effect. Transformation in the novel is gradual, step by step, painful yet illuminating. Loneliness teaches this lesson. Confronting past and shadows in silence is prerequisite to finding meaning. Modern life seldom allows such silence, but when it comes, nothing remains the same. Looking in the mirror is the hardest act. Seeing what we fear requires courage. In the Brothers Karamazov, courage emerges in small steps. Modern courage is measured not in heroics, but in awareness. Silent apologies, confessions, accepting truth. These are true acts of heroism. The novel shows that simple acts can prevent great tragedies. Searching for meaning is not purely individual. Society, relationships, and culture shape the process. Internal conflicts reflect outwardly. Neglected parts ripple across the whole. Rebuilding meaning and innocence matters not just for oneself, but for others. Every choice, confrontation, and small action leaves a mark on the bigger picture of existence. Change comes through small truths, not grand heroics. Step by step, slow but shocking. Modern humans may find hope here. Change is not duty, it is action requiring embodiment. The novel presents a paradox. The search for meaning often disregards meaning itself. Forcing meaning fills the original void temporarily but opens greater cracks later. Characters sometimes corrupt meaning while seeking it. Modern humans face a similar risk. Creating meaning can become an ego game. Responsibility is another key theme. It can be transferred, but the soul loses itself in the process. The novel shows this painfully. Guilt can be shared, conscience distributed. Today, anonymous life makes this easier. I didn't do it. Everyone does it. Such phrases numb conscience. Real transformation comes from taking responsibility, the hardest step of all. Discomfort can lead to awareness. Awareness is not soft, it can be harsh. The novel's confrontations carry this harshness. Are modern humans ready? Usually not. We procrastinate. Each day of delay adds weight to accumulated neglect. Finally facing it reshapes us. Imagine a quiet night, a room with broken toys, half-written letters, unspoken words. The past surrounds you. What truth cannot you bear to see? The Karamazovs show these moments. Knowing is easy, reaching awareness is hard. And when awareness comes, answers are rarely simple. Faith and doubt, love and hate, free will and fate, threads still weave our lives. Emotions reorganization is not just individual, it is social. Rituals change, yet contradictions persist in new forms. Listen to your own echo. Feel familiarity but do not rush to solutions. First listen, then act. A confession, a search, an apology, these are small acts of humanity, not heroism. The Karamazovs show that simple actions can prevent deep tragedies. As the story ends, the urge to respond arises, but there is no answer. The book holds up a mirror. Which part of your face do you avoid? Which truth frightens you? The answer is yours alone. You may speak or remain silent, but now there is choice. The Brothers Karamazov still shakes modern humans because it exposes our deepest contradictions. Love and violence, faith and doubt, freedom and destiny intertwined. The answers within may be silent, yet silence should not comfort you. Drop your masks even for a moment. What truth would you avoid confronting?